Anyway, guys, we are going to do a not so obvious things about the Maverick. For whatever reason, I could not get it to start with the remote start, which is one of my, I wouldn't say issues, but one of the things that just makes you scratch your head. Well, sometimes when I start it up in the morning, I get into it and it's already started. So what I do, I just hit the unlock button, I get in, and I would love to just take off and go. But before you can take off and go, you have to do this. You have to pop this little key out, stick it in, and then turn it twice so that you can even go. Today, it wouldn't start with the remote. Probably something I'm not doing right. I don't want to blame it on the Maverick. It's probably something that I'm just not aware of that I should have done in that case. But it's one of the not so obvious things. What is the other not so obvious things? That's what we're going to do today. Not so obvious, but yet obvious. Well, in order to open the hood, this is what you have to do. Let me turn the camera around so you can see. In order to open the hood, you have to reach down into the panel, and it says clearly on it, hood, and then it has 2X. Well, if you know what that means, you know what that means, but if you don't, you don't. In order to open the hood, you pull that not once, but twice. If you don't pull it twice, the hood is not. Then, when you get out, to open the hood, all you have to do is grab it and it will open. So what you do, just grab it and it will lift straight up. Now, we still have a prop rod. Yeah, that's the thing. These cars that you pay for, you still got a prop rod. But we have something that I want to address that with. And of course, that is the 2-liter EcoBoost. One of the things that I had a somewhat gripe about was how loud it is. I've learned to live with it. It's not a deal breaker, but know this, the 2-liter EcoBoost is kind of a loud engine. Shut it up and you're ready to go. Let's get in and go for a little ride. And we'll find out what are some of the other not so obvious things. Okay guys, let's go for a ride in the Maverick. Some of the things that we have learned about the Maverick are things that you could probably read your owner's manual and get a very good idea of what to expect. But you know, sometimes we're hard-headed. We don't read the whole owner's manual. This particular vehicle was not one that, you know, I went out, looked at, had the dealership take me for a test drive and then make up my mind whether I wanted the vehicle or not. I bought this vehicle not knowing what it was, based on the fact that I needed a daily driver and I thought this might make a good vehicle based on what the early pictures of the vehicle was. So I went out and ordered one, put the $100 down, got the Maverick, and then the rest is history. Yes, this has been a great vehicle for me and I am enjoying it. So the automatic stop just stopped, which is one of the things I don't like. But you just push this button that says A with a circle around it, and that means you just deactivated the automatic start stop feature, which I one day will learn to do every time I get in the vehicle. Maybe I never will. having had vehicles where the column shifted or floor shifter, this knob for putting it into park, reverse, and all of that is something that, for me at least, maybe not for all of you guys, has taken some getting used to. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a terrible thing, it's just not the ordinary. It's not what I'm used to. So I'm an old guy. Well, not so old, but I'm a guy nevertheless, and we're not always adaptable to change as we should be. Maybe it's just because we just ornery and don't want to. So what are some of the other features that is not talked about much? And I'm going to show you one when we get down here to the light. Matter of fact, let's do one right now. I'm just going to stop right in the middle of the road. You don't even have to stop. I'm going to change the drive mode to sport. Very aggressive it is in sport. See how it holds the gear even when you take foot off the gas? When you put this in sport, it changes the way this vehicle responds to throttle inputs, to slowing down, all of that. The way it shifts. And I like that. I like that. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. The other thing is the I guess it's called stop assist. I'll put the link above this video of what it actually called. But when you're sitting here, you just push this little button. It looks like a hand, like that. That's what it looks like. It's on the far right of the far right first button, and you push on, and then I take my foot off of the brake, and it just stays here by itself, which is cool for me. I mean, hey, you're at a stoplight, you know, you're kind of lazy, you're just chilling, you want to relax your leg, you want to hold the brake down while you're waiting for a long light, or somebody in front of you that's talking on their cell phone. But when the light turns green, all you have to do is touch the gas, and it releases the brake by itself. That's cool. That's cool. Very usable, especially if you're in stop and go traffic. All of you guys who live in the DMV like I do know that at some point or another you're going to have to stop in that beltway traffic on I-95. It's a pain. It's something that we who live in this area have learned to live with, or we move further south. Well, guess what? The traffic is moving further and further south. The more people we get, the more cars that are on the highway. It's just a thing. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And if I want to come to a stop again while that brake assist or park or whatever they call it, I stop, take my foot off the brake, it's still holding the vehicle in its position. Hit the gas, I'm ready to go again. And because I'm in sport mode, man, this thing really wants to get up and go. It wants to run out from under me. And it's very quick. Just that quick. I'm up to 70 miles an hour. I gotta stop that. It's not a 70 mile an hour area, so let me slow down. Sorry about that, guys. I got a little carried away. But while I'm on the fly, I'm gonna reach down here to my driving modes, take it out of sport, and put it back into normal. Transmission puts itself down into a different mode. It just changes. It just does. Not as responsive. We hit the gas and it's a little, I wouldn't say sluggish, but it doesn't do the same as it would in the sport mode. But all those are things that when I ordered the Maverick, I knew nothing about that. I looked at this as an economical vehicle. I heard something about it, that it was going to get pretty good gas mileage, and it has exceeded my expectations. When I went to pick up this Maverick the day that they called me, my impression was at that very moment, I'm going to go up here, see this Maverick. I'm pretty sure it's going to be too small for me to get into I'm going to ask them to give me my $100 deposit back, and I'll be back home in the next hour. I'm so glad that that's not what happened. My entire way of looking at my commute to work has changed based on this little vehicle. And as most of you all know who have seen the earlier videos, I am 6 foot 7 inches tall. I weigh 230 to 40 pounds, depending on what time of the year you catch me. Right now, I'm about 235. And for me to get into this vehicle, to feel this comfortable, I actually feel more comfortable in this little vehicle than I did in my big Expedition. At the end of the day, getting out off the ground, climbing up into my Expedition, sitting up high, and I drive a big truck all day, I'll tell you that. It's so much nicer to just slide into the driver's compartment of this little pickup, the one that people don't want to call a truck. Well, you can call it whatever you want to call it. I'm calling it fantastic, fantastic for me in my daily commute. I don't drive very far to work, but the little time that I spend in a vehicle to get home, I need that to be the most pleasant time of my day, and now it is. I have a neat little radio, plays pretty good. I mean, I changed the speakers out in this one just to give it a little bit of extra So yeah, I'm loving it. I hit the button and my heated seats are giving me therapy all the way home from work, and I am enjoying every moment. I haven't really had anything, even as far as, and you would think, you know, this is the first run of Mavericks, that you would find something that, oh, you got to take that part back to the dealer, because I haven't had any of that. Not one thing at all. One thing that I wasn't, and I'm not blaming the dealership, but when I got ready to turn my radio on, initially when on my way home from picking the vehicle up, the radio didn't work, and I was like, oh no, are you kidding me? How come the radio doesn't work? So I just basically plugged in my phone and listened to some of my music from my phone on the way home. And then I got in and I got home and I looked around. I still couldn't figure out why it wasn't working. I said, well, maybe I'm missing something. So I started looking around inside the vehicle, and what I found out was, and I'm not blaming the dealership at all. It maybe, you know, it was just something that got overlooked. The little stubby antenna that goes onto the top for your radio, I guess for maybe Sirius XM, whatever the antenna is used for these days. It had not been installed. It was still in my center console, which was not a big deal. I just got up there and screwed it in. And some of you all have asked me, does it? Yeah, so that's how I know it does come off, because mine wasn't on when I purchased the vehicle, and I'm glad about that. One of the things that I did not do that I wish I had was to just tell them, don't put anything on it, just wash it, you know, and give me the keys so I can go, because I like to ceramic coat all of my new cars now, because the ceramic coatings that they have now out there are just fabulous, and they do a great deal as far as paint protection. And yeah, they put some type of wax on this, but I'll do a wax removal and the detail of this once we get out of this bad weather. I want to wash it right now so bad, because it's filthy dirty, because we've had snow in the last 2 weekends, and guess what, this coming weekend they're talking about us getting another snowstorm on maybe Friday, Saturday, and then snow again Sunday night into Monday. I know all you guys who are asking me about the all-wheel drive model are saying, yeah, see, you should have got the FX4, the all-wheel drive. Well, in 10 years from now, when I may get another vehicle other than the Maverick, I'm still going to probably get the two-wheel drive, and it won't have snowed since since this year. And I'll remember the year you bought the Maverick and talked about how two-wheel drive is all you need, and then it snowed multiple times. Well, it has not been an issue. We tried to do a video the other day, and the GoPro, for whatever reason, froze up like a minute into the video. So all the footage that I have of my driving impression in the snow was basically a screenshot of me, and all it had was the words I was saying. None of the video footage showed up at all. So that's why you didn't get that video. Some of you say, well, you already did a thing in the snow, and yeah, maybe you're right. But while we are waiting for some parts for the Maverick, we want to give you guys all of the best content that we can about you making your decision as far as your Maverick. I know a lot of you guys have ordered your Mavericks already. Some of you all who have tuned in and subscribed were telling me about some of the things that you have in your Maverick, and some of you guys who have even taken delivery of your Maverick since I have gotten mine, and I haven't heard anybody complaining about the Maverick not being everything that everyone thought it would be, and even more. So yeah, we're excited about the Maverick. The Maverick is that pickup truck for the person who just needs a little pickup truck. They don't want to drive an SUV. They don't want a car. They want a little truck. You know, the vehicle that we kind of thought the Ranger was going to be, but then we went to get a Ranger, and the Ranger was almost as expensive as the F-150. Yeah, I was one of those people. And I actually, just to see how the Ranger drove, I rented a Ranger to take my daughter back to college. So we spent a couple of days with the Ranger, and I can tell you this: I decided that day that the Ranger was not for me. Now, for the person who wants a little pickup truck that can haul a little bit and tow somewhat more than this, then yeah, by all means, knock yourself out. I do think that there are going to be a lot more people who will buy the Maverick that have driven the Ranger and decided, now if that's what the little pickup is, then I want the F-150 or I want something else. So this is that something else, and it definitely but just before my Maverick got here, I went out to see what Rangers were available, and to get a Ranger, I could have gotten a Ranger for about $1,000. Well, actually, before everything was added to it, would probably cost me more like $3,000 more for a two-wheel drive Ranger before I got there. So yeah, the option was out there to get a two-wheel drive Ranger before I got the Maverick, and I said, no, let's wait and see what the Maverick is all about before we make any type of decision. And I'm so glad that I did, because I fit better. I know this sounds crazy. The Ranger is a little bit bigger than the Maverick, but I fit more comfortably in the Maverick than I do the Ford Ranger. And yeah, as I said before, I'm not a small guy. I'm a big guy that needs a vehicle that doesn't beat him to death and won't break his bank. I'm not one of those people who can buy a whole lot of stuff and you know, and feel like, okay, well, I'm tired of this, so I buy something else. No, I keep my vehicles for quite a while. I've traded them in, you know, a lot more here lately than I have in the last 10 or 20 years prior to this. But that's only because of different financial things that have allowed me to do that. No, I'm not a rich guy. I don't make as much money as a lot of you guys do. I work for a delivery company. But I will tell you this, I am blessed, because I know who provides all of this for me. And that's why I'm also minister of the gospel. So hope you all enjoyed this video. I'm heading in to get some home improvement stuff. So I will see you on the next one. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment. And don't forget to put on your notification bell so you know when we're dropping a new video. We got more products on the way. As soon as those products arrive, we're going to install them on the Maverick. I'm going to do all the work myself that I can. And we'll see you on the next one.